Meantime, the Lakers. Okay, so here's what LeBron says. There have been times when we're at our best, we look really good. And there are other times where it's disgusting.
You know what that sounds like, Ernie?
What?
Sounds like an old man. Like when you wake up in the morning, sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I feel good. Then that next day, you'd be like,
That's disgusting.
Charles Barkley went at the Lakers again, and this time it was surgical. The Washington Generals comparison, the Oprah impression, and then that sciatica joke aimed straight at LeBron. It was ruthless, but it was accurate. The kind of accurate that makes you laugh first and then sit there thinking, wait, he's not wrong. Chuck didn't hesitate. Not one word wasted. And that's what made it sting. This wasn't random trolling. This was timing, delivery, and truth all wrapped together. So let's ask the real question. Are the Lakers actually a serious playoff threat in the West? Or is Barkley just saying what everyone else is too careful to admit? Before we even break down what he said, we need to appreciate something. Charles Barkley has turned Lakers commentary into an art form. If you watch Inside the NBA regularly, you already know this is his favorite target. Not favorite because he loves them, favorite because they give him endless material.
why do you hate the Lakers? Chuck, tell us.
I hate the Lakers. It's always somebody else's fault. Remember 3 years ago, it was Russell Westbrook's fault. Then it was Frank Vogel's fault. Then it was D'Angelo Russell's fault. Then it was Darvin Ham's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And it bothers me. Listen, you don't always blame other people for your shortcomings. Lakers like an Oprah Winfrey show. You get a basket. You get a basket. You get a basket. Everybody who plays against the Lakers, they gonna make everybody look good. I mean, they're like the Washington Generals. They're gonna make every team's the Globetrotters against them. I mean, and we can keep sugarcoating it, and I know they're gonna make us talk about the Lakers. The Lakers are a mediocre team.
For years now, the Lakers have been Chuck's most reliable source of comedy. Every inconsistency, every overhyped stretch, every collapse. It's like the script keeps writing itself. And on the latest episode, he got handed a perfect setup. It started with LeBron's own words. LeBron said, and this is a direct quote, that sometimes the Lakers look really good at their best, and other times it is disgusting. That's not media spin. That's not a hot take. That's the face of the franchise describing his own team as disgusting in a press conference. That's either brutal honesty or quiet frustration. Depends how you want to read it. And Barkley didn't let that slide. He flipped it instantly. He said it sounds like an old man waking up one day feeling great. Everything works. You're moving smooth, feeling sharp. Then the next day, the sciatica kicks in, and nothing cooperates. The comparison hit because it was specific. It wasn't just a joke about age, it connected directly to the inconsistency LeBron admitted. One night elite, next night completely off, and the whole Inside the NBA set lost it. But here's why it really landed. It wasn't just comedy, it was commentary. That's the uncomfortable part. And the key thing is this, it wasn't mean just to be mean, it was accurate. LeBron James is in his 40s playing professional basketball. His team swings from dominant to completely disgusting, with almost no warning. That's not random, that's not bad luck. That's what late career greatness looks like when you're asking a 41-year-old body to carry the weight of an entire franchise on a back-to-back schedule. Some nights he looks unstoppable. Other nights the engine just doesn't rev the same. That's not disrespect, that's biology. But Chuck wasn't done. He never is when the Lakers are on the table. When the conversation shifted from jokes to actual basketball, the panel broke down something real. The Lakers' defensive struggles aren't just vibes, they're structural.
The Lakers proved to what I keep saying, the Lakers stink, plain and simple. We have to talk about them because the media is infatuated with the Lakers. But the Lakers are not a good team. They got zero athletic ability. They got a good shot every time. The Lakers could never keep them in front of them. This was a coaching masterpiece by Jason Kidd because there's no way that team that the Mavs put out there, especially one winning by 20, basically.
He just described who he should be and who the team should be based on what their personnel is at that time. They are old in certain parts. They don't have perimeter.
Wait, he's the only one old.
But they don't have perimeter defense. Young at the perimeter. So now there's no resistance for guys that get downhill.
Yes.
And I think that is the biggest thing. You know, yes, they don't have a great shot blocker, but they have shot block ability. But they do not have resistance at the 1, 2, and 3 position. And that is a It's indicative of why they play like that.
They do not have reliable perimeter defenders at the 1, 2, and 3. Guards and wings are walking into the paint with almost no resistance. And once that first line of defense collapses, everything behind it starts to crack. When you can't stop penetration at the point of attack, your entire system turns reactive. Shot blockers have to overcommit. Rotations get messy. Help defense comes late. You're scrambling every possession instead of controlling it. That's exhausting basketball. DeAndre Ayton was brought in with a clear expectation. Be the anchor. Clean up mistakes. Protect the rim. Add physical presence. Be the safety net when perimeter defenders get blown by. And if we're being honest, he's been pedestrian. Not terrible, not a disaster, but not the defensive eraser this roster desperately needed. He hasn't been that intimidating wall in the paint that changes how opponents attack. Then the bee's nest analogy came up, and as funny as it sounded, it actually made sense. If your perimeter defense offers zero resistance, it's like kicking open a bee's nest. Every bee that gets through is a driver attacking the rim with momentum. Now imagine 5 of them coming at once. You can have size, you can have length, you can even have a shot blocker waiting. But if every attacker is already inside the paint with a full head of steam, you can't swat them all. You can't block every bee. And that's the Lakers' problem in a nutshell. The math of rotating, helping, and recovering just doesn't work when your perimeter defense is that porous. That's the core issue. You can draw up all the schemes you want, but if the first defender gets blown by, everything behind him starts collapsing. Now let's be fair. Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been outstanding offensively. That's not up for debate. Luka flirts with a triple-double almost every night. Reeves is putting up over 25 a game and has quietly been one of the most impressive scorers in the West this season. Offensively, the Lakers can score with almost anyone. They have creators, they have shot makers, they can light up the scoreboard. But then Charles Barkley hit them with the Oprah impression. You get a basket, you get a basket, everybody gets a basket. The comparison to Oprah Winfrey and her famous giveaway moment on the Oprah Winfrey Show was perfect. Instead of cars, the Lakers are handing out points, and the way Chuck delivered it deserved a standing ovation, because that's exactly what it looks like. Every team that walks into Crypto.com arena leaves with numbers. Every opposing guard suddenly looks like an all-star. Come on down, grab your 30-piece, we're generous tonight. Then came the Washington Generals line. For anyone unfamiliar, the Washington Generals are the team built to lose to the Harlem Globetrotters. The Globetrotters are the show, the entertainment, the spectacle. The Generals exist to get beaten so the crowd can laugh and clap.
They're going more to a zone, too, to address the defensive issues on that team.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, like Luka and Austin Reeves have been terrific offensively. Luka flirt with a triple-double every night. Austin Reeves been killing the league, averaging over 25 points, but they've been a turnstile on defense. And whoever comes to town can just beat them off the dribble, drive and kick, and get other guys open. But you wanted to also get more from DeAndre Ayton as an anchor when you acquire him as the Lakers, and he's been pedestrian a lot of times, and I just don't think the Lakers, even though LeBron does a really good job at his
But when you open a bee's nest and all the bees, it's hard to block all the bees. You got DeAndre in there like this. Like, come on, it's like, you gotta have resistance out front.
But even offensively.
Barkley looked at the Los Angeles Lakers, a franchise with 17 championships, the home of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant, and said they look like the Generals. Every opponent becomes the Globetrotters. Every team gets to put on a show against them. People laughed, the panel laughed, but deep down, a lot of Lakers fans probably felt that sting. Barkley didn't stop there. When Lawrence Frank tried to frame the Los Angeles Clippers situation as not waving a white flag, Chuck fired back saying they've waved every color flag already. Purple, orange, blue, all of them. The white one is just the latest. That comment hit because it reflects years of unrealized expectations, especially with Kawhi Leonard and the constant injury concerns hovering over their plans. But the Lakers were the main event in this segment, and Barkley made sure nobody missed it. Underneath the jokes, the basketball analysis was real. The Lakers sit 5th in the Western Conference. On paper, that sounds fine. In reality, that means going through teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Denver Nuggets, the Houston Rockets, and the San Antonio Spurs. All of them are playing with more defensive structure right now. Barkley even said he's jumping on the Spurs bandwagon. That's not random. The Spurs are 3rd in the West and have beaten Oklahoma City 3 times this season. Dylan Harper is averaging 11 points per game as a 19-year-old rookie, and the rebuild looks intentional. It looks sustainable. It looks like something that's growing, not something that's barely holding together. Meanwhile, the Lakers are built around an aging superstar at the tail end of his career, a transcendent talent in Luka who still feels like he's adjusting to the team's identity, and a supporting cast that can score but cannot consistently defend. Some nights it clicks, other nights it collapses, which is exactly what LeBron described when he called it disgusting. That's why Barkley's commentary hits beyond the humor. He's saying what more cautious voices avoid. The Lakers are mediocre right now, not bad enough to tear it down, not good enough to win it all. They live in that uncomfortable middle, relevant because LeBron James guarantees attention, but not dominant enough to justify the spotlight when May and June arrive. The aging conversation is uncomfortable. No one wants to frame it directly, so Barkley does it with a sciatica joke. And behind the laugh is a hard truth. Playing at 41, even at LeBron's level of conditioning, comes with volatility. Great nights, rough nights, good mornings, bad mornings. That's not disrespect. His longevity is historic. But honoring the achievement doesn't mean pretending the decline isn't real. And Barkley is one of the very few voices in mainstream sports media who will just say it straight. No soft landing. No 17 layers of qualifications. No, but let's remember his greatness disclaimer before every sentence. He sees what's happening and he calls it. Now here's a stat that should make every Lakers fan pause. LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves have played together only 11 times this season. 11. And we're well past the midpoint of the year.
They gonna make us talk about the Lakers. The Lakers are a mediocre team. Now they got some really good teams in the West that we should be talking about. Because I'm starting to get on this San Antonio bandwagon right now. Obviously we got OKC and Denver, we got Houston, but man, them Spurs, they're knocking on that door.
Still number 5 in the West right now, the Lakers, and for the 11th time this season, expected to have LeBron and Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic together on the floor.
You get a basket. You get a basket.
It's a bit of rarity.
What you want to do? What you want to do?
Think about that. The trio that is supposed to define the team's identity, both offensively and defensively, has barely shared the floor. Injuries, load management, scheduling chaos. All of it has kept them from building real chemistry. You cannot build defensive cohesion in 11 games. You cannot develop instinctive rotations and trust in assignments when the core pieces are constantly in and out of the lineup. Defense is about repetition. It's about communication that becomes automatic. That doesn't happen in scattered appearances. That happens over months of grinding together. And the Lakers simply haven't had that. Then there's the zone defense conversation. The Lakers leaning more into zone tells you exactly where the coaching staff's head is at. Zone is something you use when your man-to-man personnel can't consistently stop people one-on-one. It's a changeup, a curveball, a temporary disruption. But at the playoff level, against elite offenses, sustained zone is not a solution. It's a bandage, and the best teams in the West will shred it. The San Antonio Spurs will move the ball until the gap's open. The Oklahoma City Thunder will stretch it and attack the seams. The Denver Nuggets will pick it apart with experience and patience. These are not teams you survive against by hiding in a zone. That's why the Washington Generals comparison hurts. The Washington Generals exist to lose to the Harlem Globetrotters. And right now, the Lakers are making opponents look like the Globetrotters. Teams come in, blow by the perimeter, collapse the paint, kick out for open threes, and leave with stat lines that look like career nights. It's freedom basketball against them. Chuck said it. The crowd laughed. The panel laughed. And Lakers fans at home probably laughed in that specific painful way you laugh when someone exposes a flaw in something you care about. The Western Conference is not forgiving this year. Oklahoma City is at the top. The Spurs are rising fast. Denver still carries championship DNA. Houston brings energy and defensive edge every night. Sitting 5th sounds respectable, but it means walking into a playoff bracket that punishes every weakness. If the Lakers don't tighten this up, they won't be treated like contenders. They'll be treated like a first-round opportunity for whoever draws them. Barkley isn't going to stop. The Lakers are too relevant, too visible, too easy to analyze. But the fact that he has this much material to work with is not a good sign for anyone hoping they flip a switch before April. You get a basket. You get a basket. Everybody gets a basket. Charles Barkley called the Los Angeles Lakers the Washington Generals on national television. And right now, making a clean argument against him is tough. The defense is what it is. The sciatica joke landed. The Oprah impression was flawless. If you're a Lakers fan, you have to ask yourself one real question. Is he wrong?